Hello and welcome to Reboot Theater. I'm your host, the Invisible Man. Well, it finally happened. It took them 14 years to make it, but we finally have Incredibles 2! That's right, folks. The beloved Disney Pixar film that took the world by storm. The Incredibles had a very unique take on the superhero genre by showing real-world consequences for their actions. It emphasized the politics of taking the law into their own hands, such as the collateral damage caused by their fights, which they usually don't clean up.
Listen, I've got to be somewhere.
What about Bon Voyage?
Don't worry, we'll get him, eventually!
Another reason the movie was successful is because it emphasized the family dynamic. The Incredibles are a family first, and superheroes second. And when they combine their powers, they become... Incredible! So after a movie that good, you know I am stoked for the sequel. Let's take a look. Huh. Well, at least it wasn't bad or anything. Okay, I know I had pretty high expectations going into this, but that movie was kind of a letdown, wasn't it? I mean, I know it's hard for any sequel to live up to the original, especially when that sequel is The Incredibles.
Abort! 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 Abort!
But I mean, wow.
All over Dusseldorf, Dussels are dozing. Their eyelids so heavy, they're drooping.
Potential? Reality. Let's take a look at why this half-assed sequel doesn't live up to the hype. This is Incredibles 2. The movie opens with a scene very similar to the short Jack Jack attack, with Rick Dicker. Wait, is that a Blade Runner reference? I think I just got that. Rick Dicker interviews Tony Ridinger about something he saw earlier that day.
You're, Violet, right?
That's me.
I sorta knew her, but she changed. Relaxed. She was more sure of herself.
I will say this, the animation has improved a lot since the first film. A point for that!
File 82-712. Agent Rick Dicker interrogating.
Okay, what is up with Rick's new voice? He doesn't even sound close to the original. What, you couldn't get Bud Lucky to come back? Did he die or something? Oh. Well, that's unfortunate. Moving on.
The girl, she's upset, and she throws down her mask, and it's her.
Oh, Tony. Hi.
Rick erases Tony's memories to protect Violet's identity, and the movie officially begins.
Trampoline me!
And this is by far the best part of the whole film. Picking up right where the original left off, the family fights the Underminer to stop him from wreaking havoc.
Consider yourself undermined!
Undermined! Who writes this comedy Wait a minute. Why does that building say Bank of Municiburg? That was where they lived in the first movie. Then after their house was destroyed, they relocated to Metroville. So either this bank is in the wrong city, or the writers of the sequel forgot they moved and they're still living in the same city. Don't you try and pull one over on me. I noticed the details, guys. The family tries to stop the Underminer, but he robs the bank and escapes with all the loot. Then his giant drill drives through the city, taking out everything in its path. Don't worry, I know what to do. First weaken the support beams, then smash it from the top. Where's Toph when you need her? Fortunately, they stop it in time, and we see Violet do something brand new with her force fields.
That was totally wicked.
Unfortunately, Johnny Law doesn't appreciate their help and insists they should have just minded their own business.
The banks were insured. We have infrastructure in place to deal with these matters. If you had simply done nothing, everything would now be proceeding in an orderly fashion.
You'd have preferred we do nothing?
Without a doubt.
Really? So, all those people that were saved, none of their lives mean anything to you. If not for them, an old lady would be dead, the cast of Grease would be dead, these drivers would be dead, the monorail would have crashed, Every one of these buildings would be dead, and City Hall would be a pile of rubble. But sure, it makes much more sense to let the regular cops stop a giant drill. What could cops do to stop this thing? Fire at it with their little pea shooters? Pew, 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 pew! It's not working, Dave.
Try it again.
Pew, 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 pew! Every cop in the city is dead. Reportedly, each one of them stood in front of a giant drill in an attempt to stop it. In a related story, the city is now completely destroyed as we find out human bodies are useless at stopping drills. And now for the weather. Don? Oh, he's dead too. I have a feeling it'll be sunny-ish. So Rick drives the family to the nearest motel, then tells them the superhero relocation program has been shut down.
I'm afraid 2 more weeks in the motel is the best I can do for you.
Then it's right back to the exact same plot of the first movie. They sit around the dinner table talking about why they can't use their powers anymore and have to live a normal life just like a normal family. What the hell was the point of the first movie? You just hit the reset button on all character development!
From now
So
on,
now
you
we've
can-
got to go back to never using our power.
It defines who I am.
We're not saying you have... What?
Someone on TV said it.
Let me mention a few other movies, guys. Hangover 2, Bigger, Fatter, Liar, WarGames The Dead Code. You know what all 3 have in common? They are all sequels that copied the plot of the first film. And because of that, they all suck! They don't bring anything new to the table. Except the party monkey, she was cool. But besides that, it's just a repeat of the first movie with far worse execution.
Can't believe this is happening again.
A good sequel builds on the foundation of its predecessor. That's why movies like Shrek 2, Terminator 2, Kung Fu Panda 2, and Back to the Future 2 all work. Because they don't do the exact same thing over again. They shake it up with some new ideas, like showing Sarah Connor break out of a mental ward, or showing Poe learning about his birth parents, or showing just how dangerous time travel can be in the wrong hands.
They couldn't match up the bullet that killed your old man! You son of a...
A bad sequel just does more of the same.
I just thought it was kind of cool.
What was?
Fighting crime. As a family.
You took the words right out of my mouth. That's it! That's what we all wanted to see!
It was cool. But it's over. The world is what it is.
Yes, this is happening. Nothing exciting or interesting, just a poor, penniless family moping about having to get jobs. But right after losing everything, they receive an offer from a rich businessman who says he's interested in getting supers back into the spotlight.
So if we want to change people's perceptions about superheroes, we need you to share your perceptions with the world.
It needs you 3. Come on, help me make all supers legal again.
A rich guy they barely know wants to hire the supers to fight crime again. Where have we heard that one before? But of course, since we learned nothing from the first movie, they just sort of go along with it.
This is Elastigirl. I'm in.
You can't be serious. You're even stealing the exact lines from the original!
This is Mr. Incredible. I'm in.
First time, charming. Second time, rip off! So the family moves to a new house provided by Mr. Totally Not a Bad Guy. And it comes with a few custom features. Ooh, a parting waterfall that allows the supers to pass through it. Where have we seen that before?
Bye, sweetie.
Oh, and another one! Just in case you missed that obvious foreshadowing before, here it is again. And there's a third one. You know, why don't you just put up a big neon sign that says this? So mom goes off to fight crime and dad stays home with the kids. Yep, it's come to this. Instead of the whole family fighting crime together, which would have been a much cooler movie, Helen's now a working woman and Bob becomes Mr. Mom.
That's not the way you're supposed to do it, Dad. They want us to do it this
I don't
way.
know that way. Why would they change math? Math is
it's
math.
okay,
Math
Dad.
is math.
But to be fair, I have had this exact same conversation with my dad. Multiple times. So this part makes a lot of people upset. The fact that only Elastigirl goes off to save the day, but not Mr. I or Frozone. On the surface, this may seem like shameless feminist pandering, but I don't know. It's not like they just come out and say women are better than men.
If you alone had handled the Underminer, things would have been different.
I'm just saying.
Wow. That hurts. Like a lot. I really don't like to get involved in politics, but it's pretty hard to ignore something that gets shoved in your face over and over again the entire movie. Helen is doing a great job at protecting people and saving lives, while Bob, who would like nothing more than to help, is sidelined at home being a nanny.
I've got to succeed so she can succeed, so we can succeed.
I get it, Bob.
And again, all of this could have been avoided if you had Bob and Helen out in the field fighting crime and had the kids attend some sort of super school where they could hone their abilities. Because that would have emphasized the family dynamic!
My husband used to listen to a police scanner, and I got mad at him for it. Oh, I'm such a hypocrite.
Yes! That is an apt description! Still, seeing Elastigirl save the day is something we didn't get a lot of in the first movie, and it is really interesting to see her use her stretch powers in creative ways. Then a runaway train stop just before it hits the tracks. Just like in that other movie! Meanwhile, Tony stood up Violet at the movies because Rick wiped his memory and Tony forgot he even asked her out.
Oh. Hello.
And apparently the animators forgot how big his eyes are.
We're in a new house. I did write.
Wait a second. I just realized something. Violet said she would go to the movies with Tony on Friday.
So, Friday?
Friday.
Which means the day after that is Saturday. So if that's the case, why would Bob wake up Dash in the middle of the night to help him finish his math homework? Why not just wait until morning? You've got all weekend to do it! And why does he run off, presumably to catch the bus and get to school? There's no school on Saturdays! Attention to detail, guys. It goes a long way. Then Elastigirl goes on a TV interview, but discovers someone called the Screenslaver has hijacked the signal.
I could hijack the ambassador's aerocade while it's still airborne.
So Elastigirl gets to the chopper! And she shoots a bullet right through a bulletproof door.
I have several questions.
Then she evacuates the chopper and parachutes out with the ambassador while the aircraft explodes. Just like that other movie! Then we meet some other superheroes and have a conversation between Elastigirl and the rich guy's sister.
You have the stage to yourself now, and people have to pay attention.
Oh, you mean it's man's world and all that?
God damn it, more lectures? Really?
Don't wait for permission. Assert yourself and impose your will on the status quo.
Guys, when are you gonna get it? This is counterproductive. Lectures don't convince anyone of anything. They just make people more secure in their beliefs. The people who agree with feminism will like this, the people who disagree with it will hate this, and the people who are neutral will remain neutral. Do you know what actual feminism looks like? Men and women fighting together as equals. Not women upstaging men so they can feel superior. When Wonder Woman storms into no man's land to defeat the Germans, it doesn't feel preachy, because she's just doing what's right. She's not trying to prove a point about feminism, she's just trying to be a good person and help people in need. And even though she's clearly much stronger than any man on that battlefield, she's not pompous about it. She speaks to the soldiers as equals, and she proudly fights alongside them, and them with her. She doesn't waste time talking about what she could do if given the chance, she just does it. And she proves through her actions that she is a capable fighter. Now compare that to someone who does nothing but complain about a man's world.
If I discovered the origin of the universe, my brother would find a way to market it as a foot massager.
Epic fail! You're not making the point you think you are. Talk is cheap. Anyone can complain about the state of the world, and almost everyone does, but if you expect me to care, then actually do something about it! Lead by example! So Elastigirl devises a way to track Screenslaver using the radio signal broadcast. She arrives at an apartment complex and picks the locks. Okay, now we are directly ripping off Fantastic Four. She then gets ambushed by Screenslaver in a room that could seriously cause seizures in some viewers, and chases him downstairs to unmask him.
What happened?
What happened is you destroyed my evidence.
What's going on? What did I do? What'd you guys do to me?
Your tracker worked like a charm, Evelyn. You're a genius.
Aw, shucks. I'm just the genius behind the genius.
Genius behind the genius. How did I not realize that was foreshadowing? Back at home, Bob is at the end of his rope, and he's becoming a little stir-crazy after being a stay-at-home dad.
We're doing fractions and decimals and percentages. I don't get them.
Yeah. This is the B-plot now. Not supervillains posing as superheroes, not Helen getting back into action to save her husband, not Violet and Dash combining their powers to form an indestructible bowling ball, but instead, parenting. An animated version of any TLC drama.
I'm doing the math, I'm fixing the boyfriend and keeping the baby from turning into a flaming monster. I eat thunder and crap lightning, okay? Cause I'm Mr. Incredible, not Mr. So-so or Mr. Mediocre guy, Mr. Incredible.
We should call Lucius.
Why is this the movie? It's boring! Isn't there anything we can do to spice things up? Panda! Yes!
He's a special case. We're studying. If I could just leave him with you for a while.
Leave him here?
Fascinating.
Oh my God. Of course you can leave the baby overnight. I'm sure filling in for Helen is challenging and you are very tired and the other children need you and miss you and you must go to them. Auntie Edna will take care of everything, so drive safely and goodbye. I enjoy our visits.
Meanwhile, Elastigirl is suspicious about how easily Screenslaver was caught. Almost like he wanted to get caught.
What if the pizza guy is really a pizza guy, but he was controlled by the screens built into his glass?
Surprise, motherfucker.
You are good.
So I guess you could say that it was kind of a surprise. Instead of the rich guy being the villain, it was his lady sidekick this time. Oh, come on, now you're just quoting Fantastic Four.
The rest of us are supposed to put our lives into your gloved hands. Superheroes keep us weak.
We're not born equal, we have to be made equal. How is that anyone's problem? I can't stand people like this. Syndrome wanted to equalize people too, you know, but he planned to do that by giving them all powers.
I'll sell my inventions so that everyone can be superheroes. Everyone can be super.
That's why he was at least a likable villain. This lady just wants to take Super's powers away. She believes no one should do what they're good at because it might offend people that aren't as good at it. Well, frack you! Why should anyone care?
You're gonna help me make supers illegal forever.
So finally, after an hour of waiting, we actually reassemble the family. The villain puts all the other heroes under her mind control and sends them to go snatch the kids. Eee, there's just no good way to say that. Luckily, Frozone helps them escape, but he falls under the mind control too. The kids decide to take matters into their own hands and go save their parents. I feel like I've heard this one before.
I wish the Incredible could follow that boat.
What did you do?
Well, I'll tell you what you didn't do. Buckle up! You have a baby in the car with no car seat. You are the most irresponsible older siblings I have ever met. So they sneak aboard the ship where the adults are about to meet with world leaders to make supers legal again.
Hey, did you make them new masks?
Yeah, night vision, etc. They look good, right?
So simple, even he can do it.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that last part again?
So simple, even he can do it.
Where did we go wrong? This movie could have been great. It could have been amazing. It could have been the greatest family film of the whole year. 14 years, guys. 14 years of anticipation. 14 years to build a dedicated fan base. 14 years to produce the best script possible. 14 years to get the animation just so. But instead, we had to make this a feminism movie.
So simple, even he can do it.
This is not about female empowerment. It's about male depowerment. She doesn't care about equality. She just wants to make sure one sex is superior to the other. And she wants to make sure she's on the winning side. The kids search for their parents, while the other brainwashed heroes come after them. Then Jack turns into the Incredible Bulk! Then he runs through the wall like the Kool-Aid Man, or more accurately, Bob's boss. Oh yeah! Then the real Screenslaver hypnotizes all the world leaders and tries to discredit the supers.
Years of mandated hiding and silence
have made us bitter.
You will pay for it. We no longer serve you. We serve only us. May the fittest survive.
And by the way, I'm Pinocchio. That's why everything I say sounds like a wooden puppet.
Mayday! Mayday! Mayday!
Hold. Let him talk.
Superheroes have forcibly taken the bridge.
Now.
Superheroes have.
Little further. Stop.
Luckily, the kids show up and free the adults from the Screen Slayer's control. Well, it's about damn time! Finally, after waiting the whole movie for it, we get the Incredibles fighting crime as a family! They successfully stop the ship from crashing, send the bad guy to jail, and get a court ruling to make supers legal again. Then Violet tries to get a second chance with Tony and asks him out on a date. But of course, as soon as they get to the theater...
Let us out! Here, large popcorn, small soda, save me a seat, send your ballet rose back. I'll be back before the previews are over!
And that was Incredibles 2! What a disappointment. This movie had every advantage going for it, but it wasted every single one! It's a Disney movie, a Pixar movie, and a sequel to a movie that a lot of people love, which means you've already got a huge fan base without having to do anything! But of course, we had to make this political. We had to pander to feminist extremists. We had to forget everything we learned in the first one and start from the ground up. We had to rely on flashy images to drive the story instead of the heart and soul that drove the first one. And I know nothing can ever live up to the original. That movie truly was one of a kind.
We have a confirmed hit. Target was destroyed.
But when you compare the original to the sequel, there's no comparison. Look, here's the original.
You'll get over it. I seem to recall you prefer to work alone.
And here's the sequel.
Nobody in a daddy.
Here's the original.
Release me now!
Or what?
I'll crush her.
Oh, that sounds a little dark for you. Now, go ahead.
And here's the sequel.
There's no way I'm gonna. Ah!
Original.
It'll be easy.
Like breaking a toothpick.
Show me. I knew you couldn't do it. Even when you have nothing to lose, you're weak. And I've outgrown you.
There's no way around it. The sequel doesn't give any heart to its characters. They don't feel real emotions for each other the same way they did in the first one. In the first movie, the stakes were high. Really high. Like every superhero being lured to their deaths high. This time, just stop a boat. No need for the characters to grow or learn anything, just make them fight some bad guys, save some innocents, and call it a day. The first movie was a subversion of superhero cliches. That's what made it stand out in people's minds, because of its unique take on superheroes.
This is fine.
That's fine.
I mean, I can break through walls, I just can't.
That's fine.
Get this.
So.
The second movie is all those cliches that the first one was subverting. You've taken 22 steps backward with this one. It's just... All I can say is this. Do you remember The Incredibles? Good film. That's a heart and soul. The characters grow, learn a lot about themselves, but now you ruin it with this? No sequel! I'm the Invisible Man, and when there's a disappointing sequel, I got it covered.